Come on in. Come on in. We got this. We are going to get into part 3, guys, of changing your thinking. This is about being consistent. So good morning. Good morning. If you're following me over on Twitter, hello, Twitter people. But come on in. Come on in. Let's get started this morning. Thank you for joining me for Forward Friday. We are wrapping up our series that we have going on being consistent, y'all. So come on in. Let me pull up our PowerPoint here. We have our slides going on. Let me pull those up for you guys. Good morning. Good morning. Invite somebody in. You can invite them in by typing their name in the comment section. Y'all forgive me. I'm battling a cold, but hey, I'm here. So come on in. Come on in. I'm looking for our PowerPoint. There it is. Found it. So come on in. Come on in. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you guys for joining me. It's processing. It's processing. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And let me know where you're joining me from. If you're joining me from Twitter, let me know. If you're joining me from Facebook, let me know. But good morning. Good morning. I know it's early on my side on the West Coast. Everybody, some people are still in the bed and asleep, but hey, good morning. Hey. Let me get us in here. Good morning. Oh my gosh, y'all. This weather is really crazy over here. Keeps changing up on me. So good morning, and good morning. I'm trying to find us. I don't see us yet over here on Facebook. There we are. I found me. There I am. Good morning. Let me share too with my friends and family. Let me add me to the screen. Here we are. And I'm going to put me down here. And we are on part 3. All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is where we are, changing our thinking. We're on part 3 today. So I'm going to share with my friends. So come on in, everyone. I'm sharing it. I'm going to share it with our groups and stuff. Good morning. Good morning. There we go. I've shared it with everybody. So good morning. Y'all just excuse me. I'm not going to share it there. I'll share it here. And this part is about changing your thinking. So good morning. So come on in and join me, you guys. I'm going to give everybody a minute to get in here. Let me know who you are and where you are, y'all. Oh, it was rough trying to get it together this morning, this cold that I have. But hey, y'all, we are 2 more days away from Christmas. So everybody, you done with your Christmas shopping? Good morning, Vincenta. You done with your Christmas shopping? I finally got mine done. Oh, my goodness. This year was a struggle to get it done. But come on in, guys. I got it done. I did all mine online. Well, a couple of things I didn't. A couple of things I actually went inside the store and got, but most of everything else I did it online. So come on in. You guys, let me put this to the side, y'all. It's got my tea going on, but come on in. We have been talking about being consistent, and we're on part 3. Thank you for joining me this Friday. So as we wrap up this series, you guys, and if you are enjoying our series, let me know. Give me some feedback on my page. You can leave feedback over here on the page. Just let me know. Or leave comments on either of these, and the replays are available, so you can go back and leave comments on the replays as well to let me know what you think about the series. I want to start doing these series just to give everybody opportunity to be involved in the Forward Friday. So today, let's get started on this because I don't want to be on here long with you guys today because I know you have things to do. So do I. So we're going to talk about changing your thinking when it comes to being consistent. Now, when it comes to being consistent, I know because you've built up certain habits over time. So you got to give yourself time to see these changes and to make these changes, okay? But whenever you try to establish something new, all right, understand this. It is going to take time. Instead of trying to uproot your entire life, guys, all right, trying to do a whole bunch of different practices all at once, just try to figure out what's going to work for you. All right, try something, and then if it doesn't work, then try something else. Don't try to try a whole bunch of stuff all at once. Remember what we talked about in the last two sessions. Be specific and be realistic. Okay, be realistic. What is it that you expect to see over time? You have to be realistic. All right, y'all. So let's get into this first slide. Give yourself time to see changes. Here is what you need to understand. I hope you guys are taking notes. If not, you can come back. Hey, good morning, Marcella. You can come back and catch the replay. It takes 3 weeks to create a habit. It takes 21 days to create a habit. So it takes about that time to unlearn a habit and create a new one, okay? So it takes 3 weeks, 21 days to form a habit, all right? So just give yourself time to create these new habits when you want to make changes. Don't tackle too much at once. Remember, small chunks. Do things in small chunks. Start small and build your way up. Don't try to tackle a big thing all at once. I'm going to repeat that until you get it, and you'll hear me repeat it in our last 2 sessions, okay? In the last segments. Every 3 weeks, you guys, set a small goal. Every 3 weeks, not every week, every 3 weeks. You should be able to accomplish something every 3 weeks. Small goals, not big things, small goals, all right? Because it takes that amount of time to tackle something. So start small and then build your way up, okay? Don't try to do a whole bunch at once. Tell yourself, good morning, Coach Kathy Krager. I see you. Don't try to do so much at once. I saw someone today in our, I think it was in our support group, and they were saying they were tired because they were cleaning or something like that. And I told them, don't try to do it all at once. Y'all, when I try to clean my entire apartment over here, I take one room at a time. Like today, I'm probably going to tackle my bedroom. Like Monday was my kitchen. Tuesday, it was my dining room. Wednesday was my living room. Yesterday was my guest bathroom. Okay. Today will be my bedroom and my bathroom. I don't try to tackle everything at once because I'm tired and I'm sick. And so I'm realistic about what I can and cannot do. All right. I don't have anything to prove. You don't have anything to prove to anyone. Okay, you guys. So be realistic. All right. And be specific. All right. And build your way up. Small and then build your way up. Okay. This is how you stay consistent, because if you're not successful when you're doing the small things, you're going to be unmotivated and you're going to be stressed. You're going to be overwhelmed, and then you're not going to want to do it. All right. And then that kills consistency in anything. All right. Here we go. This is the big one. Set boundaries for commitments and personal relationships. Did y'all just see how I just changed? My whole continent's changed over that because I'm huge when it comes to set boundaries. This will help you be consistent. You cannot be consistent if you don't set boundaries, because other people will have you all over the place. Okay. You have to set boundaries. All right. You can establish quality markers for yourself. All right. You may tell yourself that you're going to check your work twice before submitting it, to whoever. Give yourself that extra time to complete the task so that you can achieve consistency and quality. Okay. Oh, thank you, Marcella. Okay. People don't understand that. You have to set boundaries. I set boundaries. I don't allow people to cross lines when it comes to my personal time. Okay. All right. You have to set boundaries for your commitments and personal relationships. It makes it easier for you to keep commitments. Number 1 is establish off-limit times. How many of you guys know that? No, Dr. K, I have off-limit time. Sometimes are off limits. Okay. Everybody knows that. You know that on weekends, I don't do business on weekends. And I don't do business in my inbox. So you have to set these boundaries and limits. You have to stick to them. And it doesn't matter if people don't like them. They're not there for people to like them. They're there to help you be consistent and to stay healthy enough so that you can stay consistent and stay committed to what it is you're trying to accomplish. Okay? You have to have the courage to stay consistent, and boundaries will help that. You have to have off limits. Okay? There has to be some areas in your time, in your life, that are off limits. You must set boundaries. You cannot operate in business, in nothing, if you don't have boundaries. There just has to be. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. Some of you guys have ran into me when it comes to my boundaries. I just have them, okay? And they work. That's why I'm successful in what I do, is because I'm a no-nonsense person when it comes to my boundaries and limits. You have to set them, okay? They're healthy for you, all right? So you got to have those off limits times, okay? And then give yourself that extra time to complete the task to achieve consistency. You can't be consistent if you don't have off limit time and you don't have boundaries. If you don't have personal boundaries that you set for yourself and your relationships, you're not going to be consistent in anything, because you'll allow people to come in and you'll stop. You'll be like, okay, well, let me go and see what they want. Let me go see what they need me to do. Let me go and see, and let me go see. And you get nothing done. You must have those boundaries set in place, okay? All right, let's keep it moving. I hope everybody's enjoying these, all right? Here's a big one, though. Establish what you're willing and able to do realistically when it comes to setting boundaries. Hey, good morning, Remo. Establish what it is that you're willing and able to do. Don't say, yes, I can do it, if you're not willing, okay? Don't just say you want to do it just because it's a friend or family member, okay? I'm just here to tell you, don't just say you're willing to do it. And if you know you can't because this is your off-limit time, then don't do it. It's okay to say, no, I can't. This is my off-limit time. In our last two segments, what did I say? Do not take on other tasks during your break time, during your off time, during your down time. Don't take on other tasks during your downtime. Somebody needs to put that in the comment section. Say, don't take on other tasks during your downtime. Don't take on other tasks during your downtime. Make it personal. Say, I will not take on other tasks during my downtime. I will not take on other tasks during my downtime. You can't. You can't, because if you do, you're going to be wore out. You're going to be tired. There it is. I will not take on other tasks during my downtime. You cannot. And you have to stick to that. You have to stick to that. You can't be afraid of somebody getting upset or mad, because if not, then now you're not going to be consistent in what you're doing, because it's going to put you behind in what you need to get accomplished. Okay? All right. Next, can y'all tell that I am so serious about these keys? I'm serious, because I don't like to see people not being able to complete their tasks because they're constantly pulled off their tasks doing tasks for someone else. I don't like that. I want you guys to be able to complete your task and not taking on someone else's task. My little face is in the way. There we go. I don't like that. Okay. I don't like for you to be off track because you're doing something for someone else. Okay. Next, build your willpower. Build your willpower. Consistency requires willpower to achieve, because consistency tends to lean towards performing even when you don't feel like it. To do that, you need to have willpower to do it. So how do you do it? Avoid temptation when possible. If you want to be consistent about eating healthy, make sure that you have healthy options. We've been talking about that in our empowerment sessions. Make sure that you have healthy options on hand. Like we said, keep healthy snacks in your purse. So when you're going out and you're shopping and you pass up to McDonald's, you're not tempted to stop at McDonald's, because I am a sucker for McDonald's fries and a Coke. So I have little, as my grandson called, I have little happy snacks in my purse. I have like little fruit snacks and peanuts and walnuts and almonds and raisins in my purse. Okay. So make sure that you have those when you feel hungry. So, and don't keep unhealthy snacks and stuff in the house. Okay, good morning, Amanda. Hey, Barbara, I see you, ma'am. Good morning, good morning. So that's how you do that, to build the willpower to be consistent, avoid temptation. So if you know you have, if you are trying to do a task in the mornings and your favorite shows come on in the morning, then you have one or two things. Don't schedule your task for in the morning when when your favorite shows come on, or don't do your task where the television is, or move the TV somewhere else if that's possible. My television, here's how I avoid the temptation of watching, because y'all know I am a Perry Mason fanatic. I love Perry Mason, okay? But I know I have tasks to complete. My TV does not come on until after 2 o'clock. I don't watch TV until after 2 o'clock. So I have until 2 p.m. every day to complete my task. Okay? And people know I don't go nowhere after 2 o'clock. That's my limit. Anyway, those are my boundaries. After 2 o'clock. It's hard to get me to go somewhere after 2. Okay? Unless it's like church or something. Y'all know what I mean. But those are my limits. Those are my boundaries. And so my TV doesn't come on. And it took me a minute to work my way up to that. But now when I get up, I am consistent. I have a schedule now that my TV doesn't come on until 2. I do my lives, I do my tasks, I do my contents, all my stuff. I do it before 2 o'clock. By 2 o'clock, boom. Y'all may see me do some of my like my motivational lives and things like that. I'll do some of that stuff at 3 and things like that. But my TV, it don't come on until after 2. My television doesn't come on because I have things I have to do. And I know if I turn that TV on, it's a wrap. It's Perry Mason and Murder, She Wrote. Okay. And so avoid temptation. All right. When possible. So if you know you have things to do, just avoid, anything that's going to pull you off that task. So if you know that, you're trying to lose weight, and again, and you go shopping, healthy snacks in your purse. Okay, y'all. People laugh at me, but whatever. I'll pull out some happy snacks in a minute to keep me from, purchasing things I shouldn't be purchasing. And so just avoid temptation whenever possible to help you stay consistent. Okay. Get a proper amount of sleep. People don't understand that in order to be consistent, you got to get a proper amount of sleep. Like today, coming on, I was like 5 minutes late coming on here, but that's because I had a migraine and I took meds. But get a proper amount of sleep. 7 to 9 hours is good. Now, some people can function less. If you're military like me, we're trained to function off of at least 4. If I can get 4 hours of sleep, I'm good. Don't do that if you are not trained to do that. Okay, we're trained to do that for obvious reasons, but a proper amount of sleep is 7 to 9 hours. If you can get that, you're great. Okay, all right. So get a proper amount of sleep. That will help you be consistent in what you're trying to do. All right. So if you're getting less than that, again, depending on your sleep cycle, all right, then 6 hours. Some people say 6. All right, but in that medium is really 8. Okay, get a proper amount of rest. So get a proper amount of rest. That helps you be consistent, because if not, you're tired, and when you're tired, you're grumpy and you're cranky, and you're not going to do anything. Okay, so that kills consistency as well. Another way to stay consistent: read over your list of goals for inspiration. Keep those goals where you can see them, y'all. Keep them visual so they don't fade. Okay? Keep them visual so they don't fade. Keep them somewhere when you don't feel inspired and you wake up and it's like, man, I just don't feel like doing anything. I don't feel like tackling my goal today. And put it by the coffee maker. and you see it, because coffee makes some of y'all happy. I'm a tea drinker, but put it by your Keurig, and you go in there, you get ready to make your cup of coffee, and you see it, and you're happy with your coffee, and you see your gold coffee, and your gold, it connects, and then you're going to want to do it. All right, but read over it, keep it fresh in your mind, keep it where you constantly can see it. All right, so that it doesn't fade, and you don't get uninspired. Keep it to where it's going to be fresh in your mind. Okay, you guys. All right. Next, eliminate negative thinking. Again, y'all, eliminate negative thinking. This will help you stay consistent, y'all. Eliminate it. You cannot be consistent in anything if you don't have a positive mindset. You're constantly going to see this come up in anything when it talks about being consistent. Is this negative thinking, this thinking. You can't be consistent in anything if you don't have a positive attitude about it and positive mind frame. Pay attention to negative thought patterns, y'all. Who are you one of those people that you just think negative about everything? Well, it's a big goal. It's a huge goal. And if I don't do it, and it's going to take forever, and all of those are negative thought patterns. If you tend to think, and it's not just with this goal, and it's not with just this particular task, but if you think negative about any other task, you're probably going to think negative about this one too. As happy as you may be about this one, you're probably some way, somehow, those negative thought patterns are going to seep in. So check those negative thought patterns. Introduce more positive or neutral thoughts. It's like, I'm not happy and I'm not sad. Take the middle road sometimes until you can see, until you start to see progress. And then you'll get a more positive outlook on it. But don't think negative. All right. But introduce more positive thinking and say, yeah, it may be a big goal, but it's something I want to complete. How else are you going to get it? How else are you going to accomplish it? All right. If it's something that you say you want to have, it's something that you say you want to be able to look back on and say, I did that, then you're going to have to think positive about it. You can't say, man, it's going to take 2 years to complete this degree. So what? Just say, instead of saying it's going to take 2 years to complete this degree, say, you know what? In 2 years, I'm going to be graduating. Think positive about it. Start planning. Okay. Start planning the graduation party. You know what I'm saying? But think positive about it. Think about the positive things that are attached to it. Stop all the negativity because you'll never complete it. You won't. Exactly, Marcella. Get rid of that stinking thinking. You have to, and not just this, but in other things too. All right. Here we go again. We're gonna continue to. Y'all are gonna see this, and I said this. You're gonna see this in everywhere, in everything across the board, in whatever you do. Not just consistency, but in anything that you do. Break tasks into smaller steps. Or promise yourself a reward if you get it done on time. All right. But we are so adamant about breaking these things down into smaller steps. All right. We are. We're so adamant about this. But you got to get rid of all of this, the negativity, you guys. You got to get rid of that. All right. Because if you don't, you're going to make yourself so negative, and negativity is toxic. Negativity is toxic, and then it just spreads into everything. Then you're going to be like, oh, well, you know what? This doesn't even work right. And then you'll start to find something wrong with every little thing that's connected to the task. Oh, well, this is not the right color. Oh, well, this is not the right shade. Oh, this is not the right time. Oh, this is not the right this. Oh, well, that looks wrong. Oh, well, that doesn't look right. And it'll just seep into everything. So you got to change the way you think so that you can hold yourself accountable to be more consistent. All right. But those thought patterns are huge. You got to pay attention to it. As soon as you start to think negative, you got to tell yourself, no, I'm not. Okay, like we tell our kids, It's like, I'm not going to think that way, not about something that I want to achieve for myself. Because if you're thinking negative about the task, then that means that you think negative about you. Because your task is a representation of you. It's an extension of who you are, what it is that you're trying to accomplish. It's something that you're trying to become. And if you're thinking negative about it, you're thinking negative about you because it's coming from you. Okay, so we want to change all of that. And you have to start to, when do you begin to notice these negative thought patterns? All right. So you have to start, the moment you start thinking these negative thought patterns, stop and figure out what's going on. Like what's going on around you during that time. How did that thought come in? What were you feeling at the time that the thought entered your mind? Because you want to capture these things, okay? So when you find yourself thinking, man, I can't do this, stop and say, nope, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to practice, even if it's hard. And you say, man, I can't do, stop and just say, you know what? I'm going to keep practicing until I get it right. It may not look right to you the first time, but keep practicing and say, well, okay, well, that just wasn't it. Let me try this. And then let me try it this way. And then let me try it that way. And then stop, walk away from it for a minute. Okay, go do something else. Go do something else fun and exciting, and then come back so you can have a fresh outlook. But just don't give up on it completely because it didn't look right or it didn't sound right, or somebody said that, oh, that's not it. Just kind of walk away from it for a minute and then come back to it with a fresh outlook, with a fresh eye on it. Okay, but just anything to not to be looking at it and thinking about it negatively. All right, because we want to have a positive outlook. All right, and just tell yourself that, look, I may not be an expert at this, in the beginning. You're not supposed to be an expert at it in the beginning. It takes time to be an expert at something. Nobody is looking for you to be an expert. So don't go into this thinking, man, if I'm not an expert, I can't speak the way they speak, or I can't make it look the way that they look. That's all negative. Get that out of your mind. It should sound and look like you. I remember I had this one elder out there. Y'all know him, Elder Mark Moore. Jr., and he does a lot of stuff in the ministry. And I remember I was talking to him one time, and he did a live, and he invited me to come on the live, and was on the live, and we were talking about doing websites, and I was paying out the wazoo for everybody to do my website. Eventually I broke down and did it myself, and it's because I kept saying, oh, I can't do it. And he gave me this little nugget. And I want to give this nugget to you because I know sometimes we want our websites to look fabulous. Okay. And I'll just give y'all this little pro tip. People don't even care about your website. People just want to know if you have one. You know what I'm saying? People just want to know, do you have one? Because they just want to go and see it, because half the time they don't have one. But anyways, he gave me this tip, and it like unlocked me, and it kind of set me free. And from there on out, I was just like, man, whatever. He told me, he says, you know what? He said, your website should look like you done it. I was done. After that was one of the best tips he gave me. He said, your website, he said, it should look like you, and it should look like you done it. And I built my own website. And I went over and I practiced for 2 weeks. I sat down for 2 weeks. And what I was paying people to do is they were just using the templates that they have out there on the websites. And so I sat down for 2 weeks. I did. And it was just trial and error. So for 2 weeks, I kept doing it. I walked away from it and came back to it. And in the midst, people were putting their websites out there, but I kept on. I stayed consistent with it. And people kept saying, oh, when your website going to be up? And it wasn't that they wanted any information from the website. Do y'all understand? It was just, they just wanted to see it. Okay. So I had to get out of my mind, and I was like, oh, it's not about the information. They just want to see it. So I had to not do it for people. I needed to do it for me. Okay. And so I was consistent. So every day for 2 weeks, I set aside an hour, and I pulled out the photos that I needed to pull out. I did all of the cropping and, and all of the editing that I needed to do, and getting all the content and the wording and all that stuff. And 2 weeks later, I had built my own website. And I hit up Elder Mark Moore, and I sent him my link and told him to go check it out. And he was like, who built the website? And I said, me. He was like, go. And I was like, look, he said, it looks great. He's like, what are you asking me for? Do you like it? That was the question, was, did I like it? No, that was a question no one had asked me before. It's like, did I like it? I loved it. And so after that, I was just like, I didn't care. You know what I mean? And so that helped me be consistent in what I was doing, because I was like, I liked it. And I was realistic about why I was doing it. I got realistic and I got specific. All right. I got realistic, because before I was moving because other people wanted to see me do something. And I was like, no, let me get realistic. Why do I really want this website? I need this website because I need my products and services. All right. I need to get my own stuff out here for me. All right, for my business. And so I need to do this the way I want it done. And so I had to get consistent, and I had to get realistic and specific for this goal. And I made a schedule, and I stuck to my schedule, and I did my hour every day for 2 weeks, and I got it done. And you know what I'm saying? And so it's that. So you have to be consistent, but you got to be realistic and specific in what it is you're trying to achieve. All right. And set those boundaries. Those boundaries are huge. Remember, we talked about setting those boundaries. Okay. So if you're starting to dread, all right, you guys, if you're starting to dread a task or goal, revise the task, the goal, or the outcome. Sometimes it's not the task or the goal, but sometimes it's the outcome that you need to revise. The outcome that you're looking for may not be realistic, and you're dreading it because it's not shaping up to, it's not starting to look the way that you're like, man, this is not going to turn out the way I expected. Well, maybe your expectation isn't realistic. So you may need to go and revise and revisit your expectation to make sure that the expectation is realistic. Okay. So we have to be realistic, and that can help with that stinking thinking. And like we said before, and make sure that you're doing this small steps, chunks. All right. And not trying to eat a whole pie. Remember, we talked about the pie. I'm trying to eat the whole pie at once. You can eat a whole pie if you eat it in slices. You go in and you eat a slice here and sit down and then do something and go back and, 30 minutes later, get another slice of the pie, and, another, hour, go back and get another slice of the pie. And by the end of the day, you've eaten a whole pie because you've eaten it, in slices, and not try to just sit down and gobble down an entire pie. All right. So you do these things in small chunks, and before you know it, you've completed the task, and you'll surprise yourself when it's done, because you're going to be like, I can't believe I completed this task, because you did it in small chunks, and those small chunks will help you stay consistent. And remember, like we said, it takes 3 weeks to create a habit. All right. So remember that. So 3 weeks is like the marker for creating a consistent habit. You have to do something for 3 weeks for it to stick. It takes 21 days. So if you're trying a new workout program, 3 weeks is basically when your body will get used to that workout program. It takes 3 weeks to create this habit. All right, you guys. All right. And Q&A. This is our Q&A section. Does anyone have any questions over what we talked about today on changing your mindset when it comes to consistency? This was our final segment on this lesson. you guys. Again, I'm going to do more sessions like this for our Forward Fridays. Because I think a lot of us learn better and we get more tips, tools, and techniques this way. So I'm going to be doing this more often. It's more work, but I'm going to do it more often. These PowerPoints take work, y'all, but I break it down into small chunks. Okay. But does anyone have any questions? I'll give you a minute because I know there's a delay here with your answers and when I see it on Facebook. But does anyone have any questions about anything that we've talked about in any of our segments? And we're going to go back and do a recap of the segments because this is the last segment for the 13 keys, you guys, for being consistent in anything. Hey, Maria. I'm going to remove that. Does anybody have any questions for me, for our, I just wanted to say, let's see. Marcella, I just want to say thank you for being consistent with these Forward Fridays. They're so informative and help me so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being consistent and coming over here. Okay, you keep me consistent because I know you're looking for them. You and Remo, you guys look for these. And so as long as you guys are looking for them, I do them. So you guys help me be consistent, but thank you for supporting. Oh, let me put the slides one away. Let me get the slides back up. I want to make sure our slides, there we go. Make sure our slides are there. But you guys keep me consistent in doing them. So I love doing Forward Fridays. I stopped for a minute because I was sick. And so I had to come back and regroup, recharge, recalibrate, and come back. But I love giving these, I call them free mini master classes. But I love giving away free tips, tools, and techniques because I want to see everybody be successful in business. And if I have something, that's going to help someone, something that you may not thought of, I like to give that stuff to people. So, and I think Fridays is a good day. That way you have the weekend to jot down notes and be prepared to utilize it and put it into practice. Remo was, and I always use her as my example because she was over here and we did a Forward Friday and I gave a tip on wearing a blazer because I keep a blazer in my car because no matter what I'm wearing, somebody may call and said, hey, can I meet you, for like a consultation or something or an interview or something, and you can throw on a blazer, and if you got on jeans and sneakers, you can throw a blazer on and turn it into like like a business casual. And so she had a blazer and she wore a blazer to her job, and she has a beauty supply store. I think that's what she has, a beauty supply store, but she wore a blazer and all of a sudden her customer base was totally different. People wanted to shake her hand and were just talking to her different, and it's just a whole different vibe. And she had been wearing blazers to work, and so it's just different things that some people just never thought about. Nobody just thought about a blazer making a change in how their customers approach them. So I like to give these different tips and tools. There she is. I like to give these different tips and tools and techniques that's going to help us all be better when it comes to our businesses and things of that nature. So thank you for saying that, Marcella. Thank you guys for participating in these. And I know it's early on Fridays, and y'all know me. Even if it's only like one person, I'll do these. Even if it's just one person, I'm not looking for the crowd. I'm just making sure that someone is being impacted and someone's being encouraged. That's what these are for. So they're out here so people can go back and check them out. And like I said, give me feedback, in the comments. And I love this. The feedback. Let me know when you put these into practice. Let me know how these tips and tools are helping you in your businesses and things like that. I like to know if they're helping some way. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this recap. So the 13 keys to staying consistent, y'all, was a 3-part mini lesson. And so number one was implementing Consistent practices. That was part 1. Create specific and realistic goals. All right. That's always number 1. All right. Create a schedule. Who created a schedule? Did anybody go and create a schedule? And we talk about this in our empowerment sessions too. If you want to be part of our empowerment sessions, we have a group called Out of the Ashes and Women's Empowerment Group, y'all. And it's here on Facebook, and it's public. It's for women only, but we have that. And so we do empowerment sessions every Saturday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We have empowerment sessions. They're 30-minute sessions, y'all. We're having a good time over there. Marcella actually led the one last week because I wasn't feeling well. So you never know. You may get called to lead a session, but create a schedule. All right. And I always tell people it's so simple to create a schedule. Who is this? Maria said, yes. Schedules help her stay organized. I know. I have schedules. I love them, y'all. Paper planners, whiteboards, journals, whatever you need to use. Create a schedule. That is huge to being consistent. Post reminders. I got Post-it notes. I have little piece of paper everywhere on my steering wheel when I get in the car. Listen, y'all go so many places. If y'all don't have sticky notes on your steering wheel, I don't know why you don't. And for those girls and hey, gals, all right, that wear makeup. Hey, guys wear makeup too. So if you're a guy and you're watching, I'm not leaving you out. But on your sun visor, when you open your sun visor, you may want to put the sticky note up there. So when you're checking your shades, your hair, your makeup, whatever, so you can see the little sticky note for when you get in your car. I have sticky notes everywhere. So Post-it notes, post them up, y'all. Don't make promises you can't keep. Follow through. That helps you stay consistent. Follow through, guys. So if you know you can't do it, all right, or there's a possibility you can't do it, just don't say you can. Okay? Just don't say that you can't do it. All right? Just don't. Right? You have to be consistent. That's like me with my book writing course. I always tell people, it's like, listen, I can guarantee that the end of the course, you're going to have that manuscript. All right. I'm not saying that you're going to be a best-selling author. I'm not going to say you're going to get it published to me. I'm saying you will have a manuscript. So you know what? I can promise you that. But I can't promise you anything else. All right. So be honest and realistic with yourself on what you can and cannot do. You know your capabilities and your abilities, but you also know your liabilities, okay? And your inabilities, okay? So just be honest and realistic with yourself. Don't compare yourself to somebody else and say, well, since they can do it, I know I can do it. Don't do that. You know what you can and cannot do, all right? So be honest and realistic with yourself. And then reward yourself for completing the goal, all right? Reward yourself. Go buy yourself a new pair of shoes or a bag or ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself something, all right? Do something nice for yourself, all right? Soak in the tub for an extra hour or something, extra 20, 30 minutes, but reward yourself, all right? And get used to rewarding yourself when you complete a task. All right. That way you don't ever have to look for validation for other people, and you won't be, disappointed when nobody else, celebrates with you. You celebrate you. All right. Maintaining consistency was part 2. If you wasn't here last week, keep going. If you make a mistake, there's no such thing as perfection. All right. There's no such thing as perfection. Read that third bullet. Consistent doesn't mean perfect, y'all. There is no such thing as perfection. Perfection does not exist. So you will never be consistent if you're trying to be perfect. If you're looking for perfection, you won't find consistency. All right? You won't be consistent if you're trying to be perfect. Some of you guys right now cannot put something out because you're like, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. It won't be perfect. So you'll never get it out there. Okay. Consistent doesn't mean perfect. As y'all saw some of my slides, I had an O missing in something. I had a T missing in something. Guess what I did? Kept on going with the slides. It wasn't about the perfection. It was about the information. And so we kept it moving. Okay. I went back and fixed it after the fact, but boom, there's no such thing as perfection. Okay. Consistent doesn't mean perfect. So keep going. Even if you make a mistake, you guys, all right, it means you're human. And I always tell people, you get, bloopers and blunders over here. This is real life. Take time to recharge. Manage your time wisely. Manage your time wisely. That third bullet is necessary. Practice self-care. You can't be consistent if you're tired and you're worn out. You can't. It's impossible. Right? So take time to recharge. Use motivational tools to help you keep going. There we go. Number 8, space out small rewards throughout the day. Small. All right? Small. Space them out. Remind yourself of your long-term goals, guys. Hold yourself accountable. Be gentle with yourself if you miss the mark. I want you to pay close attention to that one. Don't down yourself. Don't beat yourself up if you don't meet your deadline. All right? I missed 3 deadlines this week, and I was like, oh, well, I don't feel good. All right? Get an accountability partner, which is a friend, family member, significant other. All right? But just be, real careful about those accountability partners. Make sure that they are accountable as well. Make sure there's somebody that is consistent, that can help you be consistent. All right. Check off your tasks as you complete them on your calendars. Check them off. That motivates you to keep going. And then today was changing your thinking. Give yourself time to see changes. You're not going to see them overnight. Number 1, it takes 3 weeks, you guys, to create a new habit. So give yourself 3 weeks to see these changes take place. All right. 3 weeks. Start small, build your way up. Set boundaries. I have to clap on this one. Everybody that follows me know when I clap, that's something I mean. Set boundaries for commitments and personal relationships. Set boundaries. And number 1 is huge. It is huge. Establish off limits time, and don't do anything during those off limit times, you guys. We already said that. Here we go. Where we put up there? I will not take on other tasks during my downtime. Establish off limit time. That means nothing is going on. Those off limit times, that means you're not taking on nobody else's tasks. Those tasks are off limits for nothing. They're off limits. Nothing is going on. All right. Set boundaries, you guys. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. Okay. You need off limit time. That means nobody else. Hey, boss. I see you, Jolanda. That means nothing is going on during that time. You don't care what nobody else has going on. This is your time. You have to have those off limit times. So set those boundaries. We're doing the recap, boss. You're going to have to go back and check the last 3 replays. But thank you for coming over here. Even if you got in on the end, she going to get in on the end. She don't care. She going to come and support, period. Build your willpower. So avoid those temptations. Remember, and that sleep is important. The sleep is important, but avoid temptation. Remember what we said. In order to be consistent, avoid temptation. All right. So don't have other things going on during the time that you're trying to get your goals accomplished. All right. So whatever task you got going on, don't have other things going on in the background. All right. So if you know you have a task going on in the morning and your favorite shows is going on at that same time, don't schedule your task during that time, or make sure that you don't have access to be able to watch the shows. Okay. So don't do that. All right. And number 13, eliminate negative thinking. Eliminate negative thinking. Pay attention to those negative thought patterns, you guys. All right. And introduce. You can't take something out without putting something back in to replace it. So pay attention to the negative thought patterns. Eliminate the negative thinking and introduce more positive thinking. Okay, you guys? So this was our 13 keys. All right, guys, 13 keys to being more consistent. Is not just being consistent, as you guys have found out in 3 segments. It's really involves a lot. It involves a mindset change. It involves habits. All right. It involves, how to take care of self-sabotaging yourself. It involves all of these different things in order to be consistent, and not just saying, okay, well, I'm just going to do it. No, there's other things you got to change. There's change that has to take place. And so thank you guys for coming on. I don't know what we're going to be doing next Friday for Forward Friday, but we're going to have, let's see, what is next Friday, you guys? Next Friday is the 30th. All right. That will be our last Forward Friday for 2022. So we'll see. It'll be something good that's going to help you with business in the new year. Okay. So I'll have something really, really nice for you guys for next Forward Friday. But thank you guys for coming on with me today. And these 13 keys. Remember, you can go back and you can check out the last 2 replays that we've had for the segment. So if you guys like these types of segments that I do for the Forward Fridays, leave me a comment and let me know, and I'll continue to do these because I want you guys to be successful. As I say, I want you to be successful. I'm not successful if you're not successful, and that's what this is all about. Forward Fridays is about us all being successful in business. All right. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. This has been another episode of Forward Friday with Dr. K. You guys have a blessed rest of your day. Listen, y'all, go out and make today great. And I will talk to you guys next